Thomas, you can start. It's live on YouTube. Ashwin, you can start.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Design Nuance session hosted by DQ Labs. I'll just share my screen and take you through a few details about the session. Just a second. Yeah. Okay, so some of the objectives about the Design Nuance series. So we're here today to learn a few nuances of a topic specific to design, architecture, or fashion. You will get introduced to a new school and understand their purpose. You will also interact with an expert and absorb the knowledge that they're going to share about a particular topic. So there are a few guidelines and protocols to be followed for this webinar. The agenda is to talk about the school for 15 minutes, 40 minutes about the main topic, and 20 minutes is allotted for a Q&A session. So please make sure you follow these instructions. Throughout the session, please keep your microphones on mute. If you have any comments or questions or any doubts that you have, please let us know in the chat. And also make sure that you switch your webcams on. If you want to unmute and ask a question, you may do so by raising your hand. And okay. Also keep your questions brief and to the point.
1 hour.
Mr. Strate, yeah, perfect.
Okay, so yeah, we are here for a workshop on product design and what does a product designer really do during a project, which is hosted by the Dean of Strat School of Design, Thomas Dall. Welcome, Thomas. A little bit about Thomas. He graduated from IST France in 1999, then joined Tremor, a French automotive manufacturer, as the head of innovation and design. In 2008, he took up the challenge to start DSK IST Rubrika, which is a design school in Pune. After 3 years of successfully running DSK, he shifted back to France to lead the head of innovation and as the head of innovation and design for Decathlon. So along his career, he has expertise in both transportation and product design. Apart from this, he also ran his own design consultancy and gained experience in space, graphic, and experience design working for multinational companies. So according to him, a holistic approach and curiosity of both technology and social fields ensures the success of solving most of the challenges of the future. Yeah. You can also find out more about Strat from this link here, which is on QEdge. I will share it in the chat. And also you will find the link to apply to Strat School of Design on the DQEdge link, and I will share that in the chat as well. So you can take over from this.
Thank you very much, Ashwini. Good morning, everyone. So I'm Thomas Dall. As Ashwini mentioned, I'm heading Strat School of Design. I'm a designer by profession. I'm not an academician. Like most of our teachers here in Strat, we are coming from the industry. So I'm going to, as a pattern of this event is requesting, I'm going to start by showing you quickly in 15 minutes the school and what we do and how we do it. And after that, we'll shift into trying to explain to you a little bit more about what is the reality of a product designer during their days. You know, what is a project? How do you really run a product design project when you're a designer working in an agency and things like that? And what is the reality of a design career, product design career? Okay, I'm just setting up my timer, you know, not to be too long and to follow the schedule. And now I'm going to share my screen to start with the school presentation. Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Thomas, I'm able to view the screen.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so Strat School of Design is a school that has been started 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago, in Paris, in France. It's now a renowned school all over the world. So this Ashwini has shown you, so transportation design. I'm also a naval architect, so if you're looking to make some yachts or ships, don't worry, we can do it for you as well. So design by Strat. So Strat is a different school. You know, the approach of design that we have in the school is a little bit different from what maybe others can have. And this is our definition of what design should be. And here we took a lot of time to write this sentence in order to be really accurate with what we really think about design. So more than a profession, more than a discipline, design is a transformation force field. Okay, what does it mean? It means that, you know, when you're a chartered accountant, when you go to office, you become a chartered accountant from 9 to 5. But, you know, in the evening, you're not anymore a chartered accountant, or you're not, you know, spending your life as a chartered accountant. But here, design is a little bit like, you know, martial arts. You're a designer when you're working, but you're also a designer when you're not working. And this is what is making success for most of the designers, is that, you know, when I'm on vacation and I'm having, you know, a new bottle coming to me, I'm checking the bottle, how it's done, what is the printing process, what is the blowing process of the plastic, and you'd never stop doing this. So it's more, it's not just a job, it's not just a profession, it's really the way you are. And when we speak about the transformation force field, it's because, you know, the goal of a designer is not just to do things, is to transform the world, to make it better, okay? So embodied by demanding professionals, here it's really important to say embodied, because, you know, when you're a designer, you need also to explain to the people what design is. Because most of the companies will not know, or most of the people will not know what design is and how important it is for the society to make it better. Okay, so you need to be an ambassador of the work that you're doing as well. Readers and thinkers of complexity. It's because to be a designer, you can't just be the one drawing things. You know, you need to think about the world, you need to understand the world, you need to understand politics, you need to understand society, you need to understand a lot of things. So you need to read, you need to think about the complexity of the world today. And producing sustainable experiences, producing, of course, as designer, you are going to do things, sustainable experiences, sustainable because the world needs it as much as never, because we really need sustainability now, and experiences providing beauty in human lives. So this is a full sentence. Beauty here is not used in the term of aesthetic. It's really the beauty as a poetic way, you know, the wellness, the well-being, all this is part of the beauty, okay? So this definition is really what we are preaching, I would say, in the school, what we are trying to teach to our students about design, okay? Strat is also international. We've got campuses all over the world, because we really think that now students need really to be exposed to the international markets and to the international cultures, because more and more the companies that are going to employ them are going to be looking at designers that can work for different cultures. Okay, when you're working for Apple, you're not working only for Apple US or for Apple India. You're making projects or products for all over the world. So you need to understand what is the difference between China, India, US, Europe, you know, to build products that will fit everywhere. Okay, so that's why in Strat we've got 4 different campuses. We've got more actually that have just been opened. One in Africa, in Dakar, and we are looking at next year one in Mexico as well. Okay, so this is Singapore. Okay, this is the campus I'm speaking to you from. So I'm here in this little window here in the ground floor. This is the campus of Bangalore. It's a 60,000 square feet building with a lot of, with more than 10,000 square feet in the ground level here of workshops. And this is our hostel that is specifically built for our students. So this is all what you see around also is a 20-acre plot that is also belonging to us for expansion, and we will welcome different schools with us. We are part of a big design, of a big education group called Galileo, the second largest of the world. And we are going to welcome a lot of other schools around us. So fashion design, animation design. We are going to get politics science, engineering, and all these other big schools from all over the world coming to join us. This is the first batch of Strat Bangalore, our first students. This is Strat Lyon. Okay. our design curriculum, what we do in Strat. So in Strat, we do a 5-year course, which is a BSc plus MSc course. So it's a 5 year, 3 + 2. And we give to the students graduation from UGC as well as certificate from France. So you get both at the end of the course. Being the BSc or the MSc, you get a graduation from UGC, so Indian recognized, and a certification from Strat Paris that is also internationally recognized. We've got 5 departments, okay, 5 departments that are mobility, product, identity, interaction, and space design. So mobility is, of course, you understood that related to everything that carries goods or persons, like trucks, cars, bikes, motorbikes, trolleys, all this kind of stuff are part of mobility. You've got heavy mobility and light mobility. Light mobility goes to the, this kind of small vehicles, electric EVs, like the Yulu and all these electric kick scooters. Product design is what we are going to speak to today about. It's about everything else that is surrounding you in your daily life. Identity is about the relationship with a brand, from a brand to its user and customer. So it's through all the touch points. It's really how a brand is recognized by its customer, and how you enhance the storytelling of the brand. Okay, so it's through all the touch points, like media, photo, websites, media, social medias, and all this kind of stuff. So it's really a complete. It's not just visual communication, it's much more than that. Interaction is also what's other called UI UX. Okay, it's about the experience that people are having by what they are interacting together. So not only interacting with each other, like a human to human, but also interacting human to machine, or human to human through a machine, like we are doing right now. I'm interacting with you, but we are going through machines. So I've got buttons, I've got interaction. I can switch my camera, I can switch off I can mute, I can chat with you. There's a lot of interaction that I can do more than just speaking and being seen by you. Okay, so this is what interaction design is doing. So it's not in Strat just about phones, apps, and websites. It's much more than that. We'll speak about it. The metaverse is coming. The 3D and AR, VR is really coming. And how are we going to deal with it? What are the kind of interaction that you're going to do? In real life, you can see each other, but in virtual reality, you can't. You can't, have eye contact. You can't, really see all the gestures and something like that. So what are going to be the interaction in the AR and the VR world? So this is something that Strat is very interesting and focused on for the interaction design. Okay, and after that, we've got space design, which is mostly about, creating public spaces. So, it's a mix between interior design, architecture, and urbanism, space planning, whatever. It's a big mix about all this. And the goal of this department is to be sure that spaces are meant and designed to do efficiently and happily what you need to do inside. Being a mall, being a room of a student, being a college, being whatever it is, it's working on this big project. Okay, so these are our 5 departments: mobility, product, identity, interaction, and space design. Okay. In Strat, we are also believing that education should not be only done into a school, and also need to be, when what you learn need to be also practiced in the real world, in the real industry. So we've got a lot of internship all along the 5 years, of course, a total of 17 months with different internship in second year, third year, fourth year. And at the end of the course, we help the student to find a job by giving or proposing them to have a pre-employment internship that we are helping them to get. Okay. Something that is very important also about Strat is that our faculties are not teachers. They are all, most of them are practitioners. They are designers and they come to teach. So the relationship between the students and the teachers are not the same than in most of the other schools, because it's not a teacher-student relationship. It's more a coach and mentor relationship, which is completely different, and allowing a much more discussion and argumentation and fun as well. Okay. We've got a lot of industry partnership. We believe that design needs to be taught with a lot of projects and link with the industry. So we've got the industry giving us projects that we do inside the school with designers of the industry in order to be able to teach better the student and to teach them professionalism as well as a lot of other professional corporate behavior in order to be sure that they will be matching what the market is in demand. Okay, we've got also strategic partners, big companies that are helping us to grow in the school, to modify our syllabus every year to be sure that we are always teaching what the design market is going to need, to be sure that our students are going to be the one that are going to be desired by the markets, and not teaching the students some outdated stuff. So to be sure that every year we evolve our syllabus to get up to date. Okay, we also use them to make some strategies about what to do next, something like that. Okay, so on everything we do is only focused on one goal, and the only goal that we have is to be sure that our student will get a very good job. And the only way to do that as a designer is to get a very good portfolio. The portfolio is a real ID card of a designer. So most of the time, companies that are going to hire designers don't look at what kind of paper you've got, what kind of graduation you've got. Most of the time, they look only at your portfolio. What can you do? What can you show? How can you tell a story? And this is what your portfolio is doing. So we are really focusing in Strat into helping our students to build a portfolio that is really, really impressive, and that is also matching with their desires. All our students will have a different portfolio because all our students are different, and we are really, really pushing to that. So they will have different projects, different way of showing, different way of showcasing different skills. Some will do everything in 3D, some will do everything with their hands, drawing hands and all this kind of stuff. Okay, so this is our very, very big goal in Strat, to be sure that our student at the end of the course will get a very, very good portfolio, a very good professional ID card that is going to match their desires and dreams in order to be sure that they will get the best job. And everything, all the syllabus of the school is turned towards that, to be sure that the portfolios are going to be good at the end. Okay, the school is partnering with 50 other schools all over the world. So a lot of exchange are possible, a lot of discussion on co-projects are also possible. We've got an advisory board that is international, made of very, very interesting designers that are coming from all over the world. Okay, we are member of the World Design Organization. We are member of Cumulus. Cumulus is association of all the best design schools of the world. And together we are meeting 3 or 4 times a year in order to discuss about the future of design education, to be sure that we are always teaching the best way, to have the good practice, and to be sure that we are always up to date. So how do you get into Strat? There is an admission in first year after 12. So you've got after 12, you've got an admission, and you've got also an admission after a diploma, after 3 years diploma. For 12, you can see here, it's a 50 pass that we need. So you would say, oh, it's not a lot. Yes, it's not a lot. You're right. Because I believe that you don't need to be good at studies in the school to be a good designer. And I've got a lot of examples of that in my network, where students were some professionals that are now CEOs of design companies or vice president design of big companies, were very bad in school, but are very good in design. So they were very bad in school and had difficulty to join a design school because of their bad marks up to 12. Okay, so in Strat, we want to be sure that all the students that will be good designers are not stopped because their brain is not wired to go to the school type, like learning by heart and vomiting your knowledge on how can I say that, on an exam paper, because you need another way of being wired to be a designer. So you can be a good designer even if you're not good in school. So that's why 50% is the minimum that we are putting here in order to be sure that we are not going to miss the good students of design that are not good in the schooling before that. Okay. We also have scholarships in order to help the student to join us. So full 100% scholarship available that you can check on our website. We've got also other scholarship, but it's a project-based allocation. It means you do a project, we review it, and if it's a good project, then you get a scholarship up to 100%. Okay. We've got also lateral entries from our people that are, in other schools and that are not very happy and want to join us. We can also do that. This is the process of application. So application interview. We are not doing any competition, or exams for admission because we don't believe in exams. Exams can be cracked. So it means you can give the good answer even if you don't understand the answer, just because you know that you have to give this answer. And we prefer interviews. Okay, interviews is really an interaction with the teacher during 1 hour where we are learning to know our students, our future students, in order to assess if they can match with what we do and if we can help them to reach their goals. So it's a really big interview process that we have in Strat in order to select our students. These are some work of our students in year 2. I'm going to go quick on this. I already gone through my 15 minutes. Okay, this is some project done by our students. So this is a identity of a shop. This is a space design of floating villages in case of flood in Bangladesh. This is interaction design. This is a product design of a watch. Okay, this is transportation design, a motorbike for Audi, car, a supercar for Bugatti. Ecranoplan. So if you don't know what is an ecranoplan, it's a kind of mix between a plane on a boat for Honda. And here, sometimes we have fun and we make some spaceships just for fun. So I'm not going to go through this. It's too long. Okay. So yes, something that we are very proud in Strat is that we are not aiming at doing all the same designers everywhere. All our designers will be different. You will see that during the presentation. I will show it again. We are really taking pride of having designers and student designers that would be completely different and doing different job at the end. They are all not going to be doing the same job. Some will be, very much into engineering. Some other will be very much in creativity. Some other will be in research. And this is what the beauty of Strat is, that we are really building your career with you, and we are really building your skills with you. So you can have a really different career, even if you are in the same batch than someone else. Okay. So speaking about career, we've got very good alumni. I'm just going to go quick because I've been a little bit too long. So Michael Arbon is one of the most impressive of all of them. It's IDEO is one of the best design consultancy all over the world in US, and he's the youngest project lead at IDEO. He was project lead after only 4 years in IDEO, which is absolutely marvelous, and he is a genius. Yes, you mean to say so. He brought Sebastian built his own brand. Felix Kibertus is director of Rolls-Royce, design director. Judith Levy built her own brand, MEM, and she has been bought by L'Oréal for 18 million euros. Okay, Manel Chassa is her own CEO with the project that she did for her graduation. This is here, Luni. It's a storytelling radio, I would say. You choose the subject with this little screen and this big button of a story of a castle, of a little guy that is going to meet, I don't know, a unicorn, and that they are going to have an adventure together. You push OK, and then the machine is going to tell you exactly the story that you've chosen. And it's a very good project. And in more information, you can go to strat.in to see more about the school. And you can contact us on this. You can take a screenshot of this. It's our academic counselors. Okay. So this is about the school. If you've got questions, we'll see them afterward. Okay. We'll see them afterward. Now I'm going to go for the other presentation. That is what we are aiming at today, is to speak to you about what product design is. So give me 2 seconds just to shift my presentation. Oh, I got an issue. It's not working anymore. Wait, I've got an issue. Sorry. My PowerPoint is locked. I don't know why. I need to go to exit and to go back to it. Up. product design. Working now. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Where is sorry. I'm a little bit lost. Something happens in my computer. I don't know what. Give me 2 seconds to get it done well. Where is the Zoom meeting? It's there. Okay, so sharing my screen right now. Okay, so I'm just setting up the timer again. So product design. So what is product design? So basically, there is a lot of people that are mistaking product design. Okay, what is and what is not product design? Okay, if you look in the job offers, in English, product design means a lot of things. If you go on, the job portals and you enter product design, you will get a lot of offers for product engineering, because design in English means also engineering. Okay, there is a common sense in between. So most of the company, some of the company are using product design for product engineering. So product design is not product engineering. You're not going to be an engineer if you do product design. Product design is not also digital product designers. You're not going to do apps on websites by being a product designer. This is digital product designer. Okay, digital product means, okay, everything that is digital. So product designer is about, objects. It's about systems. It's not about, apps and things like that. Okay. So product designer is product designer. You're going to build objects and all the objects that are around you. It can be a lot of different things, but basically it will be about objects and materials. Okay. Industrial designer. So I've got this question very often. What is the difference between the product designers, a product designer, and an industrial designer? Basically, a product designer is an industrial designer. An industrial designer is a designer that is building things, that is creating things for industry. Means not a one-off, the designers that are doing, one super nice chair that is taking 2 months to be built in wood, in massive wood, where there is gold inside and things like that. They are not industrial designers. They are product designers. Okay, they are doing they are artisans. They are craftsman people. Okay. Industrial designers is going to be about everything that is built in a manufacturer for mass production. Okay, mass production doesn't mean for 1 billion of them. 1,000, 100 will be mass production. From 100 to 10,000 million of objects will be industrial designer. As soon as you're doing something that is going to be manufactured by machines or in a manufacturer, then you are an industrial designer. At the opposite of craftsman or one-off designer. Okay. On a designer, of course, are everything else. As a product designer, you are a designer. Designer is somebody that is creating new objects, new systems, new solutions that is going to enhance the life of people. So basically, the product designers are not product engineers. They are not digital product designers. They are product designers, they are industrial designers, and they are, of course, designers in the general terms. Okay. And they are not UI UX designers. Okay. So the range of possibility. Okay. Here I showed you a lot of different objects that are the common understanding of what people think about product design. So product design is about, this kind of stuff, headphones, printers, shavers, Wi-Fi routers, watch, tea or coffee pot, USB pen drive, vacuum cleaners, fans, and laptops. This is what most of the people have in mind when they are thinking about product design. But actually, product design can be much wider. Okay, it can be about perfume bottles, on packaging. This is what product design are doing as well. It can be about sport equipments. It can be about furniture. A furniture designer is a product designer. So product design can lead you to be a furniture designer. It can be also about rollerblades. Footwear design is also a part of product design. Bag and backpack design, also soft goods, is also part of product design. Helmets, gears, sport gears, sunglasses, fashion accessories is also part of product design. Okay. In Decathlon, I was the head of Decathlon before. Our product designers are doing all the gears, the sport gears. When you're doing ski, you need a specific coat, you need a specific trouser, you need some specific boots. All these are done by designers. They are not done by fashion designers, so product designer, because those are clothes, apparel with a purpose that is not just to be looking good. Okay, so when it's just to look good, this is fashion design. When there is a purpose behind it, like fighting the cold, fighting the rain, having some pockets here in order to put your phone and being connected to this and that, and this is product design. Okay, so soft goods can be done through product design as well. Here you've got also toilets. You can do toilets, so all the ceramic ware that you can find in the house are done by product designers. All the big electronics like washing machines can be done by designers, product designers, of course. Tablets and bicycles or hard goods can be done by product designers. Electronic goods, yes, like computers and all that, of course. Roof tents that are mixed between hard and soft are also doing this. So basically, a product designer is going to be dealing with all this. And what is the beauty of this job is that according to your passion, you can do a design job related to that. For example, I had some friends that were passionate about horse riding. Okay, they became designers of horse gears. Okay, so they are doing the saddles, they are doing all the other stuff, to brush, to maintain your horse. If you're, I don't know, a snowboarder, okay, you can become a product designer towards snowboard and make the gears, the shoes, the boards, the graphics, the glasses, the googles, and everything. So that's the beauty of product design, that you can really do. You can really choose a path that is matching your other passion, your other hobby, and make it all together. Okay, and this is the beauty of it. So it can be cookware, it can be cooking. If you're passionate about cooking, why not working as a product designer in a company that is going to be making cookwares? Why not? Okay. So what kind of different designers can you be when you find your path? I want to be a designer of, I don't know, horse riding gears. Okay. You can work for big corporation. For example, Decathlon or Adidas, they've got a horse riding departments where designers are part of a big corporation like Adidas, and they are working on a specific stream that is horse riding. Okay, you can work in big corporation. You can also work for Apple. You can work for all these big Butterfly, Tefal, all these big companies that are Samsung, that are making projects, and you work in big corporations. Okay, you can work, of course, in small design studios or design agencies. The difference between working in big corporation and working in small design studios is when you're working in design studios, you will work in a variety of different products. It means 1 week you can work on a phone for Samsung. The week after you can work on cups for Godrej. And the week after you can work on a phone for, again, a phone for Samsung, or chapati maker for Butterfly. Okay, so you can do a lot of variety of things. When you're working for a big corporation, generally you're working only on one stream of products. Like if you're working for Samsung, you will be doing phones. If you're working for GBL, you will be working on speakers or headphones, and working on speakers, headphone, or your audio carrier. Okay, so these are big difference. Small design studios or agency will give you the opportunity of working on different variety of projects. A big corporation will be you will become an expert in one project. And after that, you've got big design studios or agencies, which generally are having departments, and you've got departments for cookware, departments for packaging, and departments for this. So it will be working for different brands, but you will always work, if you're in the electronic goods department of the big design studio, you will be working with electronic goods, but you will be working 1 day for Samsung, 1 day maybe for Apple, 1 day for boats, 1 day for all these big companies. And it will be different projects, but you will do only electronic goods in this department. Okay, so there are different ways of careers. Of course, big corporations have a tendency to pay more. A small design studio have a tendency to pay less. And big design studio are the average in the middle. Okay, And you can also work as a freelancer. Freelancer is, you have to find your own project and work on your own projects. Of course, you're your own boss, which is good, but you also are the only one creating your incomes. I mean, if you don't do anything and if you struggle, you will not get incomes. You don't have a salary coming every month. Okay. So the design process, sorry, it's a little bit blurry. So this is about silos, sorry, not this department responsibility. Would have a clue, try another division, can't help, no, not our problem. So design process of product designers is very different according to if you're working in one of these 4 different companies, kind of companies, okay? If you're working in a big corporation, most of the time, you will have a lot of supporting team that are going to help the design. You will have a marketing team, you will have a prototyping team, you will have an engineering team. So the design job is going to be focusing on design only, okay? If you're working with a very small design studio or design agency, then there will be nobody helping you. So you will have to do your own research, you will have to do your own creativity, you will have to do your own prototypes, you will have to do maybe the pitching towards the customer. You will have to do a lot of things. You will be doing a lot of things. Okay. So if we go, so in the big companies, as I mentioned, there will be marketing team, prototyping team. There will be a 3D modeling team. There will be maybe a different design departments for interaction, for packaging, for something like that. So you will only do one part of the job that is going to be assigned to you, and you will get inputs from all the other, and you will work with the other to deliver a final product. Okay. If you're working in a small design studio, you will be like this guy. You will a one-man band. You will do everything. So because there's no sales team, there's no different design departments. There's multidisciplinary. One day you will do some cookware. The other day you will do electronic goods. After that, you will do an app or something like that. Okay. And in big design studio, there might be different departments, as we mentioned, but mostly the kind of work that you're going to deliver is going to depend on the kind of contract. Some contract will be about design from A to Z, where you're going to do the design, the research, the creativity, the solution, then the prototyping, and then the engineering sometimes in big design agencies. So, and after that, you will have a part of this to do or not, according to the type of contract that you're going to do. Okay. Another freelancer, it's the same. You're a one-man band. You will have to do different design. When you do a project, you will have to do the packaging, you will have to do the interaction, you will have to do the plastic design, you will have to do the ergonomics, you will have to do everything. It will depend on each contract, but also you will have also to do the sales. You will have to face the customer. You will have to look for your own contracts. You have to do your accounting. You will have to do all this. So it's really a tough part to be a freelancer. You're having a lot of how can I say, freedom, because you're doing your own can I say that you're doing you're your own boss, but there is a lot of responsibility towards it. Okay. After that, when we speak about design process, we just mentioned that it's different in all the different type of companies you can work as a designer, as a product designer. And there is so many different design process that you can use as well. Basically, most of the time, it's what's called design thinking. There is a 5-box kind of logic, okay? From empathize, define, ideate, prototype, test. That is the logic of design thinking that you can find nearly everywhere. But the reality is not that, okay? I'm going to go through this. Basically, when you start a project as a designer, you start by the market study, okay? So you study what is the market, what are the competitors, what are the things that are proposed in the market, do you have a solution for this kind of problem, and things like that. After that, when you find some information about your market, you make a brief. I want to target this kind of person, so I want to target this kind of price, I want to target this kind of features. So this is a design brief. After that, you analyze this design brief in order to understand deeper what is the exact competition that you have, what are the features that the others are proposing, what are the comments on these features, how can you make them better, and things like that. After that, you start to think about what is the approach that you should have to solve this problem, okay, or these problems. Then you start to get ideas. So you note all the ideas. You will have hundreds of thousands of ideas that you will select and club together to create concepts. Okay, these concepts are going to be showcased to the clients. But before that, you need to validate with the clients. This is what I want to do for you. Are you okay with it? After that, you will have to detail your concept. Okay, we understand that this is what we want to do. How are we going to do it? And you're going to start to detail it. Okay. Then after that, there will be the design proposal, the mock-up, proto, there will be the user. I'm going to go like this, The design is very long. Okay. And it's not a linear process. Design has never been a linear process. Design is a process where you're making loops. Okay. You do something, and then when you got a validation, you might be good and you might be wrong. Then you have to start over. You need to start over and do again. Okay, and these loops are happening all over the presentation of your project. Most of the time, what people think about design is this. Okay, it's just having ideas and making concept out of it. And they think that this is what a designer does all over his life. Okay, I'm getting crazy, I'm having ideas, I'm doing some sketch, and then I'm making concepts, and I'm done as a designer. This is absolutely not true, and this is very dangerous for our profession, because this is the reason why most of the time design is not well paid. Why you've got when you're a freelancer, you've got very difficulties sometimes to get paid right amount for your work, because people think that this is design, just getting ideas and drawing them. Okay, actually, this is what most of the schools are teaching: having ideas, making concepts, then making concept validation, and making a nice render out of it. Okay, so this is what most of the schools are teaching to the students. Still, it's not complex, it's not enough, it's not complete. Okay, this is what a good school of design will teach you. They will give you a brief, and they will understand the brief. Then you will go to the analysis, the thoughts, the ideas, the concept validation. You will do the concept detailing, you will go to the design proposal, and you will come up with a mock-up on a proto. And this is the end of your design project inside the school. And this is already what a good school will teach you, okay? But what you really need as a designer is the full brand, the full range of what a design study is, from having understood the market study and what is really the ecosystem where your product is going to do, up to the product launch. What are the USPs that the marketing team need to put as a big title for your project? What are the features that you need to enhance on the packaging? What kind of packaging is going to match with the spirit of the object, of the spirit of your customer? And all this is what is making a project a success. Okay, if you do half of it only, then as a product designer, you haven't done your job completely. And this is what we are trying to do in Strat, to really teach design from A to Z. So let's see what is A to Z mean. But it doesn't also mean that all the designers are going to do the full project from A to Z. Okay, what you need to understand as a product designer is that you have to think about all that, but you might not have to do all this. And there will be different profiles. I've got some students that are very much into the research part of design, and they don't like to do the rest. And they will find some jobs about research in big companies. They will be in the research department of big companies. I've got some other students that are more into the creativity. They don't like to do the research. They don't like to do the development with the engineers and things like that. They don't like to do that. They just like to be creative and to do some ideations and to make some prototypes and to see the reality of their product. Okay, they will be creative designers in a department in a big company. Okay, and you've got others that are really fond of working on the development of ideas and make an idea become real, working with engineers, with making prototypes, testing it, and making sure that everything is going well. these guys will work in big companies, they will be working in small companies, they will work everywhere. So you've got different profiles of designers according to what you feel inside, okay? I know that I'm more into the creative phase and the development. I don't like the research, okay, personally. So I've always been focusing on the second part of the design process more than the first one, okay? So I found jobs that were related to my skills, okay? And this is what your portfolio should showcase. Your portfolio, when you're going to showcase your project, should show what you like to do and what you don't like to do. Okay, so if your portfolio is showing only creativity and great creativity stuff, your recruiter will understand what is your kind of profile, and they will see if you are matching with the job that they are going to propose and how the organization of their structure is going to match with your skills or not. They might have 3, 4, 5 designers already. Maybe if they've got already 5 designers that are creative, they might not be needing another one that is going to be like that. They might need the other skills, okay? So accordingly, they will choose or not one kind of designers or the other, okay? But there will be space for everyone according to your skills. You don't need to be knowing everything. You need to understand everything. You need to be taught everything. And after that, you need to focus on what you like with your own passion inside, okay? And there are different ways: design researcher, creative designer, problem solver, product developer, generalist designer, and so on, so on, so on. There are so many different profiles of designers that you can find. Okay, so how does a designer work? Okay, how do you really do your work? You know, these steps that you can see here. Okay, how are they really done by designers? So market study, you need to understand the market. You need to understand the user needs. I'm just checking the time. You need to understand the market needs. You need to understand the user needs. You need to find opportunities, you know, where you can, the company that you're working for can make a new product that is going to be different from the others, okay? And you need to find a problem to solve. This is what the market study is. If you go to the brief, you need to identify who the product is designed for, what type of product should it be, how much it is expected to cost compared to the competitions, how it will fit into the brand family portfolio. You mean if you're working for a company that is already doing, you know, 2 grinders, mixer grinders, and you're doing another one, how is it going to be inside this? There will be a low cost, a high cost, a medium cost. Are you going to be a super high cost? Is it going to be one other that is going to be sustainable? I don't know. How is it going to match with the range of the company that you're working for? So this is what the brief is supposed to do. After that, when you, and of course, trends, is the blue color the one that is going to be the most sold this year? Are people looking for a round shape, square shape, edgy shape? All these brands, these trends need to be understood during the brief. Okay. After that, there is an analysis, okay, a mind map of everything that you've understood in order to be able to be sure that you find a good opportunity to solve. Then, so you need to understand who are the stakeholders, what is the real ecosystem of your machine, how is it really supposed to cost, what are the technology available inside the company? Because if you start thinking about, you know, having a rocket propelled mixer grinder, maybe your company doesn't know how to make rockets, and it might be an issue for your company to build this. Okay, so you need to understand all this, and then you need to understand the society. How are people going to evolve about this? You know, maybe nowadays there's no more buttons on the mixer grinder; it's all tactile. So you need to understand all this, you know, to be sure that you're going to integrate it into your product. Okay. After that, you've got the creativity phase. Okay, thought, ideas, and concept that are going to be a creativity flow. Is going to be an organization of the ID stream. You'll have 2 different steps of creative for different results. You will have the opening creativity, which is the thoughts, where you will find axis of creativity. Then you will have the ideas that are going to be the problem-solving propositions. And after that, you will aggregate all these ideas to create a full concept that you're going to propose as a validation. Okay, you're going to make some drawings that are going to be more refined, where you're going to start to showcase exactly the form related to the concept. You're going to check the ergonomic size, the dimensions, the fitting of all the components. And you're starting to discuss with the team, with engineering, marketers, marketing guys, packaging guys, you know, to see how this idea that you've got, this concept that you have, is going to fit into the full structure of a full project. Okay. Then after that, you're going to detail the project. You're going to go into the details of every little part of the project. Every little part will be designed with a bevel, with a screw. Where is the screw? What is it going to look like? What is the kind of shiny effect that you will need here and there? What are the gaps here and there? And all this kind of stuff. You will have to design everything, and you'll have to validate this. So you have to work on the details. You have to button the click noise, the feeling of, if you got an handle to make this seat go up and down, what is going to be the strength? What is going to be the feeling of this? Is it going to be a super hard click? Is it going to be a very soft handle? All this need to be designed by you and decided by you. What are going to be the shapes, the light reflections, the adjustment of surface, the light lines, the edge, the textures, the radius on the shapes, the placement of logos, the prints, the types, all this kind of stuff need to be decided at this moment. Okay. After that, you will have a design proposition that is going to be finalized, and you will make a final render to validate this is it. This is what you are going to do now. So it can be added with a 3D model that is going to be accurate and things like that. Then you will do a mock-up of this that is going to be presented to users. You can see the user here, in order for them to assess your project. Is it going to be good? Is it fitting well in my hand? Is the button at a good place? Do I like it? Do I like the color? Do I like everything? Okay. Then after that, you will have to make what we call a tech pack, a sign-off. It means all the documentation, finalizing and putting together all the details of what you're going to do. So it can be a 3D model, it can be a tech pack like this, it can be all together, but you need to be sure that you're going to make documentation with the engineers that are going to be sent to the manufacturing units to be sure that they are going to be able to manufacture what you've designed in all the details, and not deciding somehow to move the button 1 centimeter away from what you decided because it's more convenient for them. Okay, and then after that, say, hey, why did you do that? If you send the good documents like these ones, you're sure that everything, here you can see how the label is stitched at which place, an alignment with this, and you've got everything detailed. And if the company do something else, it's not working. Okay, so this is a sign off of design. After that, you need to work on the engineering design. It means you need to work with the engineers, because when the company will start to make some first serials, they will come and there will be some mistakes. Okay, there will be. It's always like that. So you have to work with engineers to solve the mistake and understand why the mistake has been taken, and how you can maybe decrease some of your demand to decrease the cost or the impact or the carbon footprint impact of your product in order to. So it will be a big work between designers and engineers to make it happen. After that, you will have the first batch of productions that are going to come to you out of the machines. They will be having some defaults. There will be some line of joints of plastics that will be not good. There will be some placement that are going, some ink that are going to flow and not being super neat. So all this will have to work on. After that, they will be doing the tooling. Here, as a designer, you just have to check that the texture that are going to be put in the mold and things like that are matching with the one you have. So it's just checking, it's not nothing anymore. And after that, you will have to work with on the product launch. It means all the campaigns that are going to be promoting the object. You will have to work on the images, the pictures, the packaging, and all this in order to be sure that everything matches with what you've learned. Okay. So what are the skill set need today as a designer to do all this? Because this full knowledge of doing a design process is important, but you need to have some skill set to realize, to be able to do that, to be a good designer. You need empathy. To be a good designer, you know that you're never designing for yourself. Even if I've been working for as a freelancer when I was younger, and I was working to make some bed sheets for little girls, like 7, 8 years old girls. So I was drawing bed sheets with unicorns, dolphins, and all this little, fairy stuff, which is not my forte. I'm not, it's not my universe. I'm not a fan of unicorns, dolphins, and fairies, but I have to do this for them. I'm not as a 25 or 30 years old guy doing unicorns. I was supposed to do the unicorns the way these little girls were going to like it. So a little bit manga-ish with big eyes and, a little bit naive and things like that. So you need to be empathic in order to understand what is going to be the liking of your customer, in order to give them what they want, and not what you, as a very pride designers, say that this is how I like it, this is what you are going to like. If you do that, you're making a big mistake. So empathy is a very, very big skill set for designers, is to be able to understand what your customer is going to need and like, that might be you don't like, but you have to do it for them. Okay, so empathy is very, very strong. Business understanding. As a designer, you can't design something if you don't understand what is going to make the business or not, because you're making objects that are going to do business. And if you don't understand business, you can't be a good designer. You're going to be maybe a good designer for one-offs, you know, making a nice furniture with gold and resin into it and things like that, and you will sell one. But if you're working for a company, you need to understand how the business works. What is the margin? What is the promotion? What is the cost of logistics? What are the problem issue of strength, warehouse? You know, how much does it cost? And you need to understand all that. After, you need to understand material and process, because if you don't understand that, you can make a product, that could cost 20 euros. You can make it cost 50 euros because you just don't understand how it's made. And if you don't understand how it's made, you will make some stuff that are going to cost you a bomb, when just by changing things here and there, you will change the mold, and then you will decrease the cost of the machine, of the product itself. So you really need to understand materials, process, ceramic, plastic, stitching, injection, molding, and all this kind of stuff. You need to understand that. Doesn't mean that you need to be an engineer. Okay, you don't need to understand in the engineering level, but you need to understand what is making the cost of a product. As a designer, it's very, very important. You need to have a very, very good representation skills in terms of sketch, 2D, 3D, and rendering. If you don't have that, you will have difficulty to find a job after you start. You need to be able to prototype. Not that all your projects are going to be prototyped by yourself, but if you have got a doubt about a proportion, about an ergonomics, something like that, you need to be able to go to the workshop, take some machine, some wood, or some whatever materials, and try to do something just to see if it fits in your hands on this kind of stuff. You need to be able to do that as a designer. It's 3D printing, it can be 3D milling, whatever the solution that you need, but you need to be able to prototype. After, you need to have a user-centric design approach, which is nearly, here I'm looping it again with empathy. You need really to design for others, and not to design according to you, your knowledge and your taste as a designer. You know, most of the time, designers got a very big and huge ego. I'm a designer, I know better what are the trends. I'm not going to do the pink or the pink of whatever the colors that my customer is asking, because they don't know and this is ugly. No, if your customers want something, you need to understand why. Maybe you can make it a little bit better, but you have to deliver and to be sure that you're always working towards the goal of your users. I'm not saying that you need to do bad things because they want bad things. You need to give them good things, but always in the range of what they can like and understand. Okay? So this is what you need today as a designer. But you have noticed that since the COVID, the world changed a lot. And it was already changing a lot, but with the COVID situation, it has changed even faster. So what are the skills that you need tomorrow as a designer? Okay? So of course, empathy is always going to be there. Business understanding is always going to be there. Material and process, representation skills, prototyping is going to be there. Okay, these are the things that are the base of being a designer. It's always going to be there. What you need and what you will need as a design student that are going to start your journey, you will need to work collaboratively, efficiently. It means the teams are going to be much bigger now because the projects are becoming more complex. There is IoT inside or most of the project now. There is electronics, there is HMI, so human-machine interface. There is a lot of communication issues, to market the project and that. So you will have bigger teams and you need to collaborate. So collaboration skills are really something that designers need to get. Okay, designers are a glue into a project. You know, they are the ones that are making the link between engineers, marketing, and things like that, because they are the one creating the project. So they need to be sure that everybody is going to work together. So you really need to be a collaborative professional, a collaborative champion. Okay. You need to have a 360-degree approach. It means you need not only to focus on the product that you're working on only. You need to understand the full society around it, because if you're making, a product, to design a product, it's going to take 1.5 years to 2 years. And if you don't understand how the society is going to evolve when you start, from when you start the product to when you deliver it, if you don't understand how the society is going to evolve during these 1.5 years, 2 years that you're building the project, then your project, when it's going to reach the market, is going to be outdated already. So you need to understand and have a 360 approach of society, sociology, politics, geopolitics. Nobody was expecting COVID, and nobody was expecting this Russian war. But it's impacting a lot of things. Now, petrol is going crazy, resources are going crazy. All this is impacting the market of things and people's behavior in the next few months. So maybe what was thought as a good product few months ago is not anymore because of this situation. So you need to have an understanding of the full universe, I would say, to be sure that you're going to do a good project during the development phase. And you need to have a very good digital skill set nowadays, because everything is becoming digital. So you need to know 2D, 3D, of course. But nowadays, with the meta that is going to come, you need to be sure that you will know AR, VR, how to work with AI, how to work with data analytics and all this kind of stuff. This is really, really, really something that is really important nowadays. And of course, I'm looping it again with the human-centric design approach and empathy. Okay? These are something that is even more important today, because there's so many competitors now in the product design industry that it's needed to be sure that you're accurate when you're delivering something. Okay? So how is the work itself going to evolve, the product design work? So there will be a heavy digitalization of the work. So it means that you will be working more and more on computers to make your prototypes. It will be 3D milled, it will be 3D printed. You will work on a VR, to check, and put your hands virtually into the object to check the dimension and everything like that. So it will be heavily digitalized. Okay. The sustainability is becoming more and more a hot topic, because the resources are becoming more and more expensive. So the companies start to want to be sustainable, not for the good of the planet, because they are not like that, but just because they don't want to spend too much money on materials. So the less materials, the better for them. Okay. So sustainability is becoming a very big issue for financial issues, not for world issues. The companies are not too much into this. Okay. Of course, it's for all of us, sustainability is something that is very important, because the world is becoming polluted and things like that. So it is a big issue. But for the approach of the companies, they want sustainability, but not for the same reason. So also, as a designer, you will have a shorter average employment stability. It means my generation, we had an average of 5 years into a company. Every 5 years, we were shifting company. My parents were about 20 years in a company before shifting. And my grandparents were the full lifetime. Your generation is going to be shifting every 1 year, 1.5 years. So you need to know how to find jobs and how to bounce from one job to another. And this is something that you need to learn. And this is what we do a lot in Strat. And I put it again, collaborative spirit will be necessary, because you will be working with teams that are going to be in Japan, US, something like that. You will be working online. So you really need to have this collaborative spirit. If you don't have it, you will be working alone on your side, and it will never be good. Okay. And the circular economy is something that is also going to come into the picture. And you need to think the product not only as a product nowadays, but you need to think about the product as a part of something bigger, where it's coming from and how it's going to be recycled or re-looped into the economy. And this is something that is really, really important that we are teaching now in Strat as well. And you will have to be very, very centered on AI, data analysis. Nowadays, when you do any products, there is data. There is percentage of people using this, how many males, how many females, what is the average size of the hand of these guys, and you've got data for everything. Okay, so you need to know as a designer to use data to create your to have creativity that is centered on the data analysis on AI. AI will be part of our work. It will helping us, and you need to know how to work with data and with an AI as a designer. Just your own guts and your own feeling as a designer, as an artist, is not going to be enough anymore. You will really have to use the data. Okay. And the metaverse is going to be there coming also. You know what is the metaverse? Is a new virtual universe that Facebook is launching. Facebook is not Facebook anymore, it's Meta now. So it's going to be a virtual world where people are going to go and purchase things, and there will be virtual money, virtual land, virtual houses, there will be virtual couple, there will be a lot of things. And this is going to impact a lot the world, and it's going to be really changing the way product design is going to be done. Okay. Also, there are new technologies that are going to help you as designers to do something different, that are going to really change the way products are going to look like. It will be generative design. Generative design is how AIs and computer can help you to create stuff that are as strong and as efficient as before, but in a different way that is generated by the computer. These wheels, for example, are stronger than normal wheels, but they are being generated by AI. And these wheels, this network that you can see, is stronger than a normal wheel. Same thing for this motorbike swing arm. It's very empty. It's full of emptiness. It's very light, but it's more rigid than a normal, brutal, massive aluminum milled swing arm. This car also, with this kind of structure, is more rigid, and this is full 3D printed. It's more rigid than a metal one. Okay, so all this generative design is going to change the way people are seeing the object in the future and the way we are conceiving the project. So as designers, I was saying that you need to be sure that you're going to work with AI, because AI is going to be making this for you. And if you don't manage, the AI will do something like that is looking ugly, according to me. But if you manage it as a product designer, you can make something that is looking good, like this, with order and something like that. Okay, so you need to learn how to work with AI. Also, there is projects like Viscom. Okay, these examples are all car design examples, but all what you see here, no human has been involved in what you see. Everything has been generated by a computer that has been analyzing a lot of design sketch, and he is making the renders and proposing to you new designs for cars from what he has learned from others drawing before. So it means that Viscom is going to be one of the software that is going to design for you. Of course, it's not going to replace designers, because you need to ask questions to Viscom to make sure that your car that you're going to make is going to be a SUV, is going to be a sport car or whatever. So you need to work with the AI to be doing this, but a lot of skills to make the renders is going to be less necessary, because now you will have support from the AIs to do the render and to do the full visualization and render skill sets done by computers. And also nowadays, I'm sorry, the image is very bad. We will also work more in modelization in 3D. Okay, in the AR, VR. We are not going to spend more time, maybe some of you know Blender, where you have got your mouse on your keyboard and you're working on your screen. Here, more and more, the 3D work start to be done in AR with goggles, like this, Oculus Rift, or all these kind of headsets in order to work in 3D. You've got a lot of advantage. So this is something that designers need to know now. Okay. So I'm on the time. It's only 43 minutes. I had 45, so I'm good. I stopped sharing. It was a huge condensed presentation. I hope it was not too heavy for you guys. I'm fully ready for questions about the school, about design, about product design, about everything you want. Just tell me. I don't know, Ashwini, how we should do it. Are you going to collect the questions? Are they going to raise their hands? What is the process?
Yeah, so they can start putting their questions in the chat.
I'm opening the chats. Do not hesitate about, I know it was dense and heavy, guys. Do not hesitate to ask questions about anything. Asking question is the first step of learning design. learn how to ask questions and ask questions about anything. So please do not hesitate. So I've got a question from Annika Ghosh asking for animation design. In Strat, we don't do animation design. We do 3D modeling, but it's 3D modeling that is going to be more related towards, making 3D modeling for the industry, not, Spider-Man jumping from one building to another. This is the kind of stuff that we are not doing. There are very good schools for that, and it's not our main strengths. We are going to have, as I mentioned, in the projects that we have of building a 19-acre excellence international education center in Bangalore. We will have a very good animation school joining us, but not this year. I'm sorry, Annika. It was VIA. Sorry, VIA. We don't have this right now, VIA. So this year we will not be able to help you. But from next year, we will have a very good animation school joining us in Strat. So it will not be Strat. It will be another big animation school that is going to join us in the campus. Okay. Will Strat teach us about working with AI? Yes, absolutely, Annika. Strat is going to teach you to work with AI, not to work with AI like programming the AI, but how to work with the software that are using AI to help you as designers. So it will be, Grasshopper, that is generative design. It will be working with data analysis, to understand what are the, when you make research, to understand the data and to analyze the data better. This is the kind of stuff that you're going to do as designers. You are not going to be an AI programmer, like an engineer, that IT engineers. This is not what we are going to teach you. We are going to teach you how to use AI, not to program an AI. Okay, so this is completely different. But yes, you will be taught how to use AI. I wanted to know about how the scholarship process is going to be conducted. So basically, Gaurav is asking this. Gaurav, if you go to our website, strat.in, you will be seeing a tab on the top, scholarships. And here you will have a full description on how the scholarship is given. There will be, you have a subject, you need to work on a project of your own, related to one of the topics that is presented in this page. Then you will have dates of submission. There will be a selection of, among the 300 or 400 projects that are going to be submitted. We'll select a number of finalists. Okay, well, let's say 5. You're going to come and present during 10 minutes to a jury your project. Then if you're selected, you're going to go to the final. Okay, and if you go to the final, then you will be granted up to 100% scholarship for Strat. Okay, so this is everything is explained in the web page on strat.in. strate.in in the tab called scholarship on the top. Okay. What is sorry there, Arvind, sir, I would like to know under which project the floating building comes. So the floating buildings come under space design. So it's understanding what are the needs of a village and how to make the needs of a village on the ground reproduced if there is a big flood, and how to make this company, these tribes, these tribes live the same way on a floating, on having the crops. You see the vertical walls. So these crops, this is vertical crops to help sustain. So this is a space design. Okay. Will Strat teach us about architecture? No, sorry. Well, Pramod asked, what is the eligibility for scholarship? So there are some different scholarships. I told about the iLead, which is a project-based scholarship. There are other scholarships, about, toppers, ladies, interstate. So you will see in the same page, if you go to strat.in scholarship tab, you will go at the bottom of the page. You will also have the link to the other scholarships. Okay. What will Strat teach us about architecture? So when you're going to go into the space design department, you will learn a little bit about architecture. You will not learn architecture. You will not be able to be an architect, because when you're doing architecture, it's a long study, and where you're learning about concrete, about what is the difference between concrete and steel concrete, and this kind of concrete, and how you make a beam, how this is architecture. Okay. In Strat, you're going to learn about space design. You know, what happens if I put something in the middle of a room? What happens if I put something here and there? Well, if I put an entrance in front of a screen, what's going to be the behavior of people? And if I put that, so we learn how the behavior of people is inside spaces and how you can help them to use the space better. So you will learn about lighting, you will learn about flow of people inside a building, you will learn how to put, what is the size of door that you can do, you will learn about a little bit of making furnitures like an architect will do, but you will not learn how to build a house. You will learn how to think about a house, but you will always need an architect to build the wall and to measure the thickness of the wall, the structure, and all this kind of stuff. This we will not teach you. So there will be a mix. Actually, space design is a mix between architecture, interior design, interaction design, and a little bit of urbanism as well, because we are not dealing only about the space, but all the surrounding as well. Okay. Which streams of design is Strat known for? Oh, sorry, I'm missing some of them. For fashion design and photography. So we don't do fashion design yet in Strat. So we will next year. We are starting, not this year, not 23, but 24. We are starting a joint venture with the best school of fashion design of France. It's called Atelier Chardon-Savard. It's in Paris, and they are going to start with us in Strat a fashion design course. For now, we are not doing fashion design course. What I showed you about apparel design is product design. Okay, so this is really something different. We are doing product design, but it's soft goods. Okay, in product design, you've got hard goods and soft goods. Soft goods will be about, as I mentioned, gears that are going to be sport gears, not fashion, not like doing a nice print on a sari. This is fashion, but doing some skiing or snowboarding gears with pockets that you can access with your gloves, that are going to have a hole here, to have your headphones going to. So all this, where working gears or sport gears are going to be part of apparel design in Strat, in the soft goods. You will have bags, you will have shoes, footwear, all this is part of product design, okay? It's not fashion. And we don't teach photography as a specific course. We teach photography inside the other course, to be able to understand what is the layout, of a page, what is the camera angle. When you're rendering in 3D also, you need to understand what is the aperture, what is the camera, the perspective, what is the camera lens, all this kind of stuff. So we are teaching photography as a tool to help understand 3D, but we are not teaching photography for the sake of becoming a photographer, okay? So this we are not doing. So I hope it's clear, Arvin. We are not doing fashion as fashion. We are doing product, soft fabric design, but we are not doing fashion as you mentioned, and we are not doing photography to become a photographer. Okay, we are doing photography as a tool for design. Which stream of design is Strat known for? Ask from Aditya. So we are very well known for interaction design, product design, and transportation design. These are really the things that we are known all over the world for, and that people are rushing to our doors to hire our designer for. But we are also very good in space design and identity. We are placing our students everywhere, but mostly we are super well known for the three others that I just mentioned: transport, interaction, and product. Okay. In the course, we will have exposure to Viscom. Yes, Viscom is a free software that you can already use on the internet. But yes, you will have exposure to Viscom during the course. Of course, it is, as I mentioned, it's something that is coming. So as a designer that is going to graduate in 5 years, if you don't know Viscom, you're already like a dinosaur. Okay, so you have to learn Viscom. And this is something the school duty, whatever, Strat or any other school, will have to teach you all this AI related stuff. If a school is not speaking to you about this right now, they are already outdated, and they are going to teach you how to be a dinosaur designer. Okay. So here in Strat, we are very proud because we are teaching you what's coming and not what is already there since 20 years. Okay. Because this is what we are looking forward and not backward. Okay. In the course, will we have exposure to Viscom? This is already answered. Does have Strat communication design? We don't have communication design as you mean it, like others have specifically communication design. We've got a branch, and I explain this as identity design. Identity design is a relationship, that is a design department that's going to deal with a relationship between a brand and its customer. So it's about communication, but not only about communication like, the photograph of your advertising. It's going to deal with your retail, it's going to deal with your logo, of course, with your posters, of course, but it's also going to deal, as I mentioned, with your retail. You're going to deal with how the website is going to look, how the chatbot is going to answer to the people, how the people in the shops are going, what kind of uniforms are they going to wear, how the people are going to come to speak to you in the shops. This is what a brand identity is. And we are going to teach you identity, not just visual communication. Visual communication is a part of a brand identity. And in Strate, we are going to teach you the full part of identity. The thing that is really ruling a brand, that is brand enhancing, to make, I'm not going to speak into this too much, but to make the difference between a brand and a love brand. You can read this book that is called Love Brands or Love Marks. That is super, super interesting to understand what is identity able to do if you do it well to a brand. It can completely destroy a brand or it can really enhance a brand. And this is what we are going to teach, how to really deal with the full connection points between the brand and the customer, all of them, to make a strong identity for the brand. Okay, this is what we do. It's much more than visual communication. Okay. Gaurav is asking, I have only been recently introduced to design. Are there any subject I need to have knowledge about to pursue design? Oh, yes. So basically, most of the students that want to pursue design are focused on skills. I need to draw, I need to know softwares. Softwares are the easiest thing to learn. So don't spend time on this, okay? This is not the first thing that you need to learn when you want to pursue design, because skills are going to be given to you by the schools. When you're going to join a school, you're going to be taught how to use 3D, Photoshop. You will be taught that. So there's no use for you to go further before, okay? What you need to spend your time on before entering a school is to understand what design is. Because this is what is the most difficult, to get a design mindset, to be curious, to look at, to listen to podcasts, to understand the society, to look around, to understand your place in the world, to understand how the world is working. This is what you need to understand before joining a design school. Design skills, drawing, perspective, of course, you need to start doing it, because the better you will be, the easier it will be to learn in the school. But this is not the priority. The priority is your mindset. Skill set is secondary. Okay, so this is really, really, really what you need to look at, is understanding what design is all about. What is the process of design? What is design? What is good design? What is bad design? What is the benefit of the world? This is really what you need to look at. And to do that, what you need to do is to look at some podcasts, to listen to podcasts, to look at videos, TEDx about TED or TEDx about design. And this is what you need to spend your time on in order to start to set your brain in the design mode. Because this is what's taking time, and this is what is the most difficult. Skills will come later, okay? Of course, if you like to do Photoshop on Illustrator and doing some 3D, do it. Take pleasure on doing what you like, but don't forget that the mindset is the thing that you need to work as soon as you can, okay? Should we have 3D design exposure? It's better, but as I mentioned, skills will be taught to you in the school. Of course, if you already have a little bit of 3D knowledge, it will be more easy for the school to teach you, and you will be more easy to learn from the school. But it's not a necessity. It's a plus, okay? Like the cherry on the cake, but it's not necessity. As I mentioned, in order to go to Strat, what is very important is your mindset, your understanding of the world, your understanding of design, okay? What are your expectations for the portfolio required as a part of the admission process? So basically, in Strat, we are looking for a portfolio, okay? We want our student to get a portfolio, but we want a portfolio that is reflecting the student's personality. Most of you guys, when you come, you all have an NID portfolio. You have, watercolor, you have pictures, you've got this, because they have been asking you, in order to have a portfolio ready for NID, to have this kind of stuff that might not be reflecting who you are. Okay, This is what you show a portfolio because this is what NID asks you to show. Here in Strat, we don't have this kind of expectations. We don't want you to show 2 drawings, 4 pictures, 1 watercolor. We don't need this. What we want, during the portfolio review is to understand who you are and what you can do. So if you like to make sculpture out of dry pastas, show us that. If you are fond of pottery, show us that. If you like photography, show me a full portfolio with photography. If you like, drawing portraits or manga, show me this. Okay, but the best to get through Strat is to show what you can do. Okay, all the things that you can do in order to be sure that we've got a full understanding of who you are. Okay, so show us everything that you think is going to help us to understand who you are. Okay, and it can be drawing, it can be t-shirts, it can be stitching, it can be pottery, it can be watercolor if you have, but it doesn't need to be all of this. You need to show us what is going on. You need to be able to discuss about what you've done, to discuss about the project. Okay, this is what we need from a portfolio. I hope it's answering your question, Tavishi. Rohit is asking, School of Design is known from transportation design, interaction design, and brand communication design. Yeah. Okay. Does the course help me if I'm a good painting artist? So design is not, design is different of being an artist. Okay, being an artist is creating something to give emotion to people. Okay, but it doesn't serve any other purpose. As a designer, you need to create emotion to others, but also you need to solve problems. So being a good painting artist is going to help you as a designer because you already know how to represent things, how to draw things, how to appealing, okay, in terms of visualization. So it will help you as a skill, but it's not going to help you as a mindset to be a designer. Okay, so it's a good plus. If you already know how to draw in perspective, in 3D, on painting, on all this kind of stuff, to make the shadows, to make the lighting effect, something like that. Yes, of course, it's an add-on. It's something that is going to help you because you already know that, and it is part of the teaching. So if you already know when you enter the school, of course, it's going to be helpful. Okay. Ashwini is telling me that we need to wrap in 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to take 2 more questions. So Anika is asking, can the design mindset be developed? Of course. And this is why, some people are asking me, Thomas, do we really need to go to a design school or can we learn online? I agree that you can is online and you might find a lot of content online, but that makes you think, okay, I don't need to go to a design school. But actually the design spirit is going to come from the discussion peer-to-peer and all the interaction that we have with teachers into a design school. So yes, the design mindset can be developed and it will be developed by more and more exposure and discussion about design inside the school. Having discussion with your classmate, with your teacher, with some conferences that are going to be brought to you by the school. All this exposure is going to bring your mindset and you will make you understand and seeing also the mistakes that others are doing on their project or the good things that they do on their project. This exposure is going to make you, oh yes, he thought about this. That's a super way of thinking. Oh, these tools, the way he used these tools is super cool. I need to use it next time. So this exposure to others, designers working on the same perimeter is going to develop heavily and quickly your design mindset. And last question, how is Strat assessment pattern like and what basis will be graded? So Strat, we've got, as I mentioned, we've got a UGC recognized degree. So we'll have semester exams that are going to be design exams. Meaning you will have to draw, not to write text about design. You will have to draw project, you'll have to do this. So we will have semester exams because we need to give you a UGC recognized graduation, okay? But also we'll have continuous assessment, okay? And in Strat, we don't have theory courses mostly. Of course, we have history of art, and French and English. These are theory courses, but most of the rest, I would say all the rest, are practical courses. So when you will be assessed on work that you do. For example, if you're doing graphic design, you will have, or I don't know, typography, you will have to do typography, and then you will give your sheets, and we will assess the quality of your sheets, the cleanness, the respect, the creativity. So we will assess this work every week, and we will pile up the marks in order to create a full mark that is going to be added to your semester assessment. So mostly it will be practical reviews more than theory, writing, and all this kind of stuff. We don't do that. We don't do that at all. Okay. That's it. I think, Ashwini, we are already over the timing. So if you want me to wrap up.
Yeah.
Maybe one last, that is very important. Gaurav is asking, how do I start building a portfolio from scratch? So I'm going to wrap it in 2 minutes. Okay, Ashwini? How do I start a portfolio from scratch? You need to, first thing that you need to ask yourself is, what do you want to show? What kind of, okay, Gaurav, what kind of Gaurav do I want to show to this person? How will I help this person to understand who Gaurav is? This is the first question that you need to show. Do you want to show me how good you are in building models? Do you want to show me how good you are in sketching? And according to what you want to show and who you are, you will start collecting the work that you've already done. This is the first thing. Don't start by doing new work. Start by collecting the work that you have already done and sort it out. Is this work going to be good? And am I proud of this work or not? If you're proud of this work, you put it. If you're not, you don't put it. Is it representing me, or is it something that has been doing that I have done because I was asked to do it and it's not representing me? Okay. Is it something that is representing me or not? You know, if you're drawing, a painting where you see someone that is very sad, is it representing what you want to express or not? Or do you want to repress something that is very happy? So is it representing what I want to say or not? If it's not, you push it away. Then you select from all your old work and you put it in your portfolio, what is representing you and what you're proud of. Very proud of. If you're not proud of, don't put it. Okay. After that, you look at it and you see, what do I miss? I've got skills and I want to showcase my skills. So what are the skills that you want to showcase? Painting, sketching, 3D perspective, something like that. This is something that you need to ask yourself. Did you do pottery? Did you do other art crafts? You need to put them, okay? Second thing that I want from all of you guys is a design project. Because this is helping us as a design school to understand how you think. It might be not good at the end. You are not going to assess the quality of your design project because you're not a student of design yet. What we want to assess is how you think and what is the process you've been through this design project. Not the quality of it, but how you thought about it. So you need to have at least one design project. It's helping us a lot to assess who you are. I don't know if it's helping you on this, Gaurav, but basically a portfolio needs to be a piling up of everything that you have been doing before, that is super good, that is representing who you are and that you're proud of. Okay? But basically, just to be generous and to give you a little bit more guideline, drawing sketches of objects is something that is very helping. In perspective, it's helping. Portrait on landscapes are helping, but they are not the major thing that we are going to assess. Design projects is something that we are going to do. And if if you've got skills in 3D, 2Ds, if you've done posters, logos, and all this kind of stuff, if you've done this, you can show them. If you've done potteries or t-shirts, splash, or any art stuff, you can show them. So basically, yes, it's this. I hope it's helping. Okay. That's it, Ashwini. I've been very long, but I hope it was helpful.
Yeah. It was a very informative session. Thank you so much for being here and giving us your valuable time. And also thank you so much for everyone who attended the session. Hope you all have a good idea about what thank you so much for attending.
Thank you.
Very much for the opportunity, Ashwini.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone. See you soon.